Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jen and this is Jen's Happy Home. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like Disney related videos, travel vlogs, hauls, organizational videos, cleaning videos, kid stuff, mom stuff. I don't know, I have all kinds of stuff going on my channel. So please go ahead and subscribe so I can update you every time I have a new and fun video to share. Today I am going to share with you a recap of my Disney trip. I am so sad that all of my Disney vlogs have come to an end. I really enjoyed reliving the whole trip by just going through and watching all of those special moments and memories and just kind of being able to revisit those very special days. But yeah, they're done. So I wanted to share with you some serious lessons learned on this past trip. I definitely made some mistakes, and I've traveled to Disney many times, but as my family grows and changes and the ages of my children change, circumstances are just different, and I really need to approach the whole vacation in a different manner. So I hope this is helpful for a lot of you guys. I really think it will be. So go ahead and grab yourself something warm to drink because this video might be a little bit lengthy. There's a lot that I want to share with you guys. I don't want to leave anything out. So grab yourself something to drink and let's get comfortable, and I'll teach you some lessons learned. I'll teach you some stuff that I really wish that I had done differently on this trip. Okay, so let's get started, and I'm going to try to make this video not like Disney hacks. If you want to see my Disney hacks, I will leave a link to that above. I'm trying to make this very specific just to our last trip. All right, so I think it's great to have a plan in place, especially for Disney World. You definitely need a plan. You need to have your fast passes scheduled. You need to have your dining already booked, all that stuff. But you definitely need to be flexible. So when I first started going to Disney, it was just myself and my husband, and we would travel often with his parents or his family. And I am very controlling in Disney. Like, I am the one who puts together the itinerary. I'm the one who tells everyone they have to get up and out to the parks at 6 a.m. Like, I am kind of the one who cracks the whip on our Disney trips. And as adults, that was always fine because we only had ourselves to care for, and you know, we were able to do it. It was easy to get from place to place. It was easy for us to get up early, nap in the afternoon, go back out again in the evening. But when we had young children, I still tried to follow that same schedule. Of course, the nap time in the afternoon became a bigger priority, but I really wore the kids out. I really did. Like, they were cranky a lot. There was a lot of crying. I felt like a lot of the time in the park, they really weren't even having fun because they were so exhausted and it was so hot. So I think you really need to be flexible, and you need to realize that you're not going to see and do everything that you want to. And for me, that's always a huge disappointment. If I miss out on something, it is the end of the world for me. And it's horrible for me to be that way, and I really have to change my attitude. So now that my children are teenagers, well, I still have one little one. And if you're not familiar with me, I have 3 kids. I have a 7-year-old daughter, Madison, a 13-year-old son, Patrick, and a 15-year-old daughter, Emily. So by like day 3, they were so done getting up early. Nobody wanted to get up. When we were in the parks, they really weren't even having the best time because they were tired. We were out late the night before. They were on limited sleep. Breakfast was always like on the go. I purchased things to keep in the room, so it's like grabbing a bowl of cereal or a granola bar and just like getting to, you know, the bus and getting out to the parks. So by day 3, we were at, I believe it was the Animal Kingdom, and there was so much that I wanted to see. You know, we did the whole Pandora thing, and it was fun. We had a fast pass to see the Flight of Passage, so like that was amazing, and we really had a great day. But the day that we go to Animal Kingdom, we do start the day off really early. We got stuck on the safari, so that kind of held back our day. And by like 4 o'clock, everyone was done. Animal Kingdom doesn't require like going back to the hotel because it's kind of a shorter day for us anyway. but I really, really wanted to see the Rivers of Light, and I also wanted to see the nighttime show that they do at the tree. I think it's called Awakenings, the Tree of Life Awakenings. So those were two things that I have not yet experienced, and whenever Disney has something new to offer, I really, really want to see it. Like, that's it. I want to see it. I don't go every single year. It's usually every 2 or 3 years. So when I go, I don't want to miss out on any of the new stuff. Well, 4 o'clock, we said, all right, let's go. Like, we're just going to totally miss it. And I have to say, I was feeling really sad about it, but it was so much better for the kids for me to kind of have that flexibility and just let them make some of the decisions. So we did go back to the hotel, and they got to go swimming and relax and just have a great time. So that is my first tip, is to be flexible. Don't be so committed to things that you can't give them up. Something else that I learned on this trip is not to be afraid to complain to Disney if you are not happy, because they want you to have a magical experience. They want you to be happy. If you guys watched any of my hotel reviews, we started off at the Contemporary, had a very poor experience. I was really, really disappointed. I could not wait to stay at the Contemporary. It was like on my Disney bucket list for the longest time. I never thought I would be able to go there. I never thought I would be able to stay in a deluxe resort like that, like right on the monorail. So I was really, really psyched to stay at the Contemporary. And it wasn't good. That's all I can say. I love the hotel itself. We had issues with the room. We had issues with the maid service, which I didn't even get into on my review because I don't want to bash Disney. I love Disney, so I don't want to say too many negative things about, one experience in all of the years that I've been there. But when I went to the front desk and I expressed my concerns, they were on the phone right away trying to find a different resort to switch us over to. And it was the best thing that we did, because we discovered the yacht club, which I would have never even thought to go to. I actually hardly even heard of it. Like, I didn't even know what it was, where it was. I wasn't familiar with that hotel at all. And I would have never otherwise stayed there. There's no way. It would have never occurred to me to stay at the yacht club. And we loved it. We loved it so much. And there was so much to do there. We spent a day like going out on the boats. They have like a little lagoon where you could take out your own boats and kind of putter around, and you could go over to like Hollywood Studios via boat. And we had so much fun. The pool was amazing. It was like a water park in itself. So just by expressing my disappointment in the Contemporary, they, turned it around for me. They moved all of our stuff over to the yacht club. It was really, really an easy transition. So make sure that if you're not happy with something, you express it to Disney, because they want to keep you happy, and they will. Okay, so since I'm talking about our moving from the Contemporary to the yacht club, this was something I never would have done, and I know a lot of people do stay in a couple of different resorts on their Disney trip, and I always felt like that's way too much work. I don't want to interrupt my vacation switching hotels. You know what it's like, especially if you have kids, to have to like unpack everything and repack everything and move everything. It's not an easy task. Well, Disney does make it really easy for you. And if I had known we would be switching from the Contemporary to the yacht club, my whole schedule would have been completely different, because the whole schedule was like opposite of what I should have done. Being that the Contemporary resort is on the monorail going into the Magic Kingdom, we did not go to the Magic Kingdom the few days that we stayed at the Contemporary. We went to Hollywood Studios and Epcot, which is exactly where the yacht club is. You can walk to both Hollywood Studios and Epcot. So we did the reverse of what I would have done had I known we were switching resorts, which was very unfortunate. I wish that we were able to experience taking the monorail right into the Magic Kingdom. And I wish that we were able to experience just walking over to Hollywood Studios. We were able to spend a second day in Epcot, so I did get to walk over there, and that was just phenomenal. Definitely want to stay in that area again. So if you're staying like more than 4 nights and you want to experience a couple of the different resorts, definitely do it. I cannot recommend it enough. It's so much fun to get to see different resorts and kind of change up your the whole like vibe of your vacation, and better planned, it would have really worked out wonderful for us. Something else that I learned on this trip is I don't need to carry a backpack with drinks and snacks and medical supplies and activities for the kids to do and an umbrella and a poncho. And like, you guys, if you watched my backpack video, wow, a lot of stuff going on there. And I will say, I do find it most helpful to pack a backpack if you're going to the park from morning till night and you're not coming back for a break. Then all of what I just said, it's worth it to have it and to struggle with the backpack. Maybe have your husband or your partner or your friend help out with carrying the backpack, because it is going to hurt your back by the end of the day, especially if you don't have a stroller to tow it along on. So I recommend having maybe like the backpack for the days that you are going to be at the park the whole day, but I highly recommend having a smaller bag for just maybe carrying your phone and whatever else you need, like a couple of Band-Aids and a lip gloss or some sunblock, whatever, just the absolute essentials in a small bag, because having a backpack isn't necessary for the whole entire trip. You know, most of the time we do go back to the hotel in the afternoon, and on those days I really never needed to access anything from my backpack because we would have our snacks and our drinks and things back at the hotel anyway, so it was not really necessary for me to carry all of that with me. And that will lead me to my next tip, is you don't really need to keep a lot of drinks and snacks and things in your room unless you plan on having like a couple of resort days where you're going to spend a lot of time at the hotel. Our family pretty much goes to the parks every day, and we ended up having so much left over at the end of our trip, so many snacks and breakfast items and fruit and drinks, like, and we just left it all there because I can't bring it all on the plane with me. So I definitely think that is something I will scale back on next time, realizing that we eat mostly in the parks, we get drinks at the parks, you can get free water at the park anyway, so I didn't really need to carry around as much as I did. Talking a long time, my coffee got cold. So I do think it's important to spend time at your resort, especially if you're staying at a resort that you really love and have always wanted to experience. And that's something that I definitely don't do enough of. And that goes back to my being flexible, because once we switched over to the yacht club, we really wanted to spend more time there. So we ended up cutting out a lot of the stuff on our itinerary. We had a full day planned in Epcot, and we had like a huge to-do list of all the places I wanted to see and all the things I wanted to do. And we went there in the morning, we did all the fast pass stuff, and the kids were like, we really want to experience that pool, and they have boats there and it looks like so much fun. And I just kind of threw out the itinerary. I looked at my husband, I'm like, all right, let's go back to the hotel, let them have fun. And he was like flabbergasted, because he knows how structured I am and how serious I am about my itinerary. And he was like, really? Seriously? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it ended up being the best day ever. Like, we had so much fun. We went, you know, we had ice cream, we went over to the boardwalk area, which is right there as well. So it really was a great day, and I wish that I had allotted time just to have a day at the resort, just to explore the pool and the hotel itself and all that surrounds it, because I didn't just have a day for resort time. So if your trip is long enough where you can still see all of the parks but have a day to relax at the resort, I highly recommend doing that. You're gonna need it. Everyone's gonna be tired anyway, so like midweek, have a resort day and just enjoy the hotel that you're staying at. Okay, the next thing that I learned the hard way was to get the memory maker. When you go to Disney, there are PhotoPass photographers all over the park, and they take beautiful pictures of yourself and your family in front of the castle, in front of the Tree of Life, just like everywhere. They're all over the place. And every time that we've traveled to Disney, I would pre-purchase what is called the memory maker, and I'll link a video of that above because I have a more detailed explanation of what it is if you want to learn more about it. But basically, when you purchase the memory maker in advance, it's less expensive than purchasing it after your trip, and all of the pictures that Disney takes belongs to you. So if you just do PhotoPass and you don't purchase memory maker, you can go on the site, you can see your pictures, you can purchase them individually. But when you pre-purchase the memory maker, you can have all of your videos in the pictures, and they have an awesome video of the mine train, so that was really fun. And just like all of that stuff, it belongs to you, it's yours, you'll have it forever, all those memories captured. And this time I didn't pre-purchase it, and that meant I didn't force the kids to get online to get all the pictures taken like I typically would have. And when I got home, even though I didn't have a lot of photographs, I had all of the pictures of my daughter at Bippity Boppity Boutique and all of the ride clips. So even though I didn't have a ton of photographs as I typically would have, I still bought the memory maker, and I think it was like $30 more. So if you're the least bit interested in having photographs and video of your family in Disney World, pre-purchase it. It's so worth it. Those videos and pictures, you just can't replace it, and you can't do it yourself. You can't record yourself on the mine train the way they do with the whole, you'll see. Watch my video, you'll see what they do. It's just awesome. It's so much fun. Okay, my next tip is if you're getting tickets to any of the parties, the Christmas party, the Halloween party, don't waste your money on a park ticket that day. What I have done in years past, and I did it this year, and I regret it every time, and I don't know why I do it, because it kind of ruins the whole party for us. I purchased the park pass thinking I want to make the most of my time in Disney, so I want to be there from the time it opens till the time it closes. That's the way I think, that's the way I feel. It's just the Disney crazy going on in me. So I always get the park pass for the day, which is expensive, and then I buy the tickets for the party at night, which is crazy expensive. So I'm paying double for my family to be there for the regular Disney day and then for the party at night. Well, you can get into the party around 3, 4 o'clock. And by the time the party starts, my kids are so done because we got up early, we did the Magic Kingdom, and then we went back to the hotel. We'd get ready for either getting our costumes for Halloween party or put on our Christmas ears for the Disney party. And we're all ready, and we go to the parade, and everybody is sitting, waiting for the parade, falling asleep and miserable. We did the Christmas party this year, and my husband, my daughter Madison, and my son Patrick literally saw the first parade, which I think was at like 8 o'clock, and they left. They didn't have cookies, they didn't have cocoa or apple cider, they didn't take advantage of the short lines for all the rides, they didn't see any of the shows. Like, it was such a huge disappointment, and this is the 3rd time I did it, and 3 times in a row, this is the way it went. So luckily I have my older teenage daughter who can last, and we usually stay till midnight, we close the party, we have a great time. It is nice that we have that time together, just me and my daughter, and we do all the stuff. But don't. It's so silly now that I think about it. I should have enjoyed the day at the resort, had a relaxing afternoon, got ready for the party, and then we could have arrived at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, whatever it is in the afternoon, and it usually goes till midnight. So what was I thinking? I don't know. Lesson learned, take my advice, just get the ticket to the party and call it a day. Don't force anymore. Okay, something else that we usually do, and I feel like is an added unnecessary expense, is those refillable mugs. Currently, I believe they're $18.99 a mug, and usually our family will get 3, which is, let's face it, it's nearly like $60 with tax, right? And myself and my husband like to fill up coffee in the morning to bring to the park, and then we have the 3 so that all 3 of my children at nighttime can go get hot chocolate or soda or whatever they want. So we kind of felt like if we were getting coffee every morning and the kids were getting 3 drinks every night, that's 5 drinks a day, so probably worth it. We like to have the mug. We always bring it home with us as a souvenir, which is nice. But there's a Keurig in the room, or at least in the resorts that we were in. I don't know if all resorts have this. You could always check when you are booking your resort. But there's a Keurig in the room, and I believe they may have even had hot chocolate, but I brought hot chocolate packets with me anyway as well. But they had a variety of different coffees. They had regular and decaf, and they may have even had flavored. I don't even remember. They had such a big variety of coffee and teas. So we could have just taken our old refillable mugs and filled those up in the room and brought it to the parks with us. And, we usually had dinner out. Well, we did. We had dinner out every single night, and the kids could have had soda then. They typically ended up not getting it back at the hotel because we get back relatively late. We had already eaten, so we really didn't take advantage of it. I guess you have to see what your family's situation is. If you are spending a lot more time at the resort and you think your kids are going to be filling up with drinks a lot, then maybe it is worth it to you. But for our family, and now that I know they have the Keurig in the room, I don't think I'll be spending the money on the refillable mugs again. All right, so the most disappointing day of our trip was the last day, which should have been my favorite day because my favorite park to go to is the Magic Kingdom, and my favorite place to eat is Be Our Guest at the Beast Castle. And we had all that planned on our last day. I like to leave like with my last memory being the Magic Kingdom and all of the magical experiences that you think of when you go to Disney. You think of the castle and the fireworks over the castle and just the whole beauty of Main Street. So I like that to be like the last image in my head from the trip. But our trip typically ends on a Saturday. We usually leave Sunday morning and our last day is Saturday. Oh my gosh, I will never go to the Magic Kingdom on a Saturday again, ever. I'm sure maybe some of the other parks are less crowded, but I guess a lot of like the local residents and things go on a Saturday, and it was crazy. Like, you could not even walk. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was so claustrophobic, and one of the things I was really looking forward to seeing was the new fireworks show, the big display on the castle. I believe it's called Happily Ever After, and we couldn't even stay for it. Like, I was so done, and I was so sad because it was our last day, our last night. I wanted to see everything and do everything. All of the rides had like a 2-hour wait, all of them. Like, even the rides that I wouldn't even care to go on or care about. Like, I was so desperate just to be a part of it that I was willing to go on anything. I mean, It's a Small World was like an 1.5-hour wait. It was insanity. So thank goodness we had, a lot of fast passes for that day, and we were able to hit a whole bunch of rides. We did have dinner at the Beast Castle, and the Beast was sick, so we never got to meet him or get a picture with him. And it was a really disappointing day for me. And yes, that's my advice. Try to avoid going to at least the Magic Kingdom on Saturday because it's just crazy, or it was for us at that particular time. Another little tip for you guys, as I'm wearing these ears, and these are well broken in older ears that I've had probably for like 10 years, the ears in the Disney park hurt so bad. Like, I can only wear them for a couple of hours. I have to keep taking them off for breaks. I get a headache. Like, they're so tight. So I highly recommend checking out the tons of Etsy shops that they have with Disney ears, because I did purchase some ears from Etsy and they were way more comfortable. You could hardly even feel them on your head. And the Disney ears, even though they're really well made and really pretty, they hurt so bad. So that's another recommendation, lesson learned this year. And don't be apprehensive to wear ears in the park. Like, even if you're an older woman and you feel silly, like, don't, because you shouldn't. You're in Disney. It's the one place that everyone can wear the ears. And I was a little bit shy about wearing them this trip. I don't know why. I just feel like I'm too old for it and whatever. But you're not too old for anything in Disney is what I realized. So if you want to wear those ears, wear them. Don't be scared. They're cool no matter what. Okay, so I think that might be everything on my list. Let me just make sure I didn't forget anything important. Okay. There was one more thing that I wanted to mention. If you have younger children that use a stroller, I highly recommend using a rental company outside of the Disney parks. I used Kingdom strollers and it was such a great experience. They literally bring the stroller to your resort, so you pick it up at the bell check when you arrive, and then when you're done with it at the end of your trip, you leave it with the bell service and they'll pick it up there. So you don't have to waste time getting a stroller at the beginning of the day as everybody's like running to the rides, and everybody's going to be way ahead of you because you have to take the time to get the stroller, which is a hard plastic, very uncomfortable stroller that is pretty expensive. So I think it was well worth it to rent from Kingdom Strollers. The stroller was way more comfortable, had a lot more features, was easy to like, you know, fold up and take on the buses with us and things like that. So I think it's definitely a better way to go. I've been traveling to Disney with small children for many, many years now. This is the first time I did this, and probably the last time, because my daughter is 7, and it was a push getting her to even use a stroller because she's been out of the stroller for a couple of years now. But if you've gone to Disney, you realize the amount of walking involved in a day, and it would have been way too much for her. So I'm glad that I did it. Kingdom strollers, so worth it. Definitely highly recommend, rather than getting strollers in the park. Okay, so I think I tackled everything that I learned on this trip. I hope it was helpful for you guys. As far as upcoming trips, like, the wheels are always turning. I am always trying to finagle a way to get back to Disney. If I am planning for a Disney trip, even if it's like a year and a half away, I'm just excited about it. I love the whole planning process, and Disney has so much stuff coming up in the near future. Hollywood Studios, they have like all the Star Wars stuff going on and all the Toy Story stuff, and it's just like, I'm so excited to get back, and I don't want it to be too far away. So here's what I'm trying to finagle. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm just like talking about it and pushing it and talking about it and hoping eventually my husband will cave and be like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So this past winter has been really rough for me. I don't know what it is, but I'm having a really hard time getting through the winter anymore. And I think it's because my husband used to often go to a conference in Vegas every year, and it was like in February, March. So I would go with him, and it was like a week in the sun, and it kind of broke up the winter for me at the point where I was really getting depressed. We would take a trip to Vegas, and I would have some pool time and some sunshine and all of that. So it just made the winter more bearable for me. But the last couple of years, he stopped doing that, and I'm really feeling it. And like, I just came to that conclusion. It's just because I don't have that little break from the gray, cold, miserable winter here in New Jersey. So I'm trying so hard to convince him to go to Disney with me for a week in like maybe February or March, or just sometime in the winter time, and just the two of us, because it's been a really long time since we went as a couple to Disney. Sometimes mom and dad need some time away alone, and I know we would have so much fun, and I would be able to do a lot of the things that I haven't done in years because of the kids. My kids really aren't into Epcot. Like, they don't enjoy the pavilions and the countries and things like that. And I always really enjoyed exploring the countries and spending a lot of time there and shopping and trying out the food. And I haven't done that in probably over a decade because of the children. We do the Food and Wine Festival, but it's quick, hitting booths, everyone's arguing, it's hot. Like, it's not the experience I look forward to. So I'm pushing for that. The other thing I'm hoping to do is Disneyland in California. I've never been to Disneyland, and for a long time we've been talking about taking a trip to California. We've been talking about going to the Grand Canyon, and I'm like, all right, Grand Canyon is pretty close to Disneyland. Maybe I can like kind of work that in somehow. So that is something else on my list that I am trying to push for, maybe next summer, not this summer. In the next 5 years, if I can't get on the Disney cruise with family or friends or plan a trip, that 5-year mark, I'm planning it, we're doing it, that's it. I already told everyone in my family that's what we're gonna do in 5 years. That's how far ahead I plan my Disney trips. Like I said, it's always going on, I'm always finagling. So that's everything. I am sorry if this was like ridiculously long, but I hope that it helped you in some way if you're planning a trip. And yeah, hopefully you can learn from some of the mistakes that I made on my last trip. I hope you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that I can update you when I have a new video to share. Don't forget to follow me at Jen's Happy Home on Instagram, because I do share a lot of stuff there as well. And please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Have a great week. Take care. Bye.